Hello friends, this is SKillous, and today I want to start a new show on my channel in which I'm gonna give you everyone in-depth look on strong and weak sides of a pro gamer that we're gonna look at. I want to say that this obviously is my personal opinion, so if you have anything to say, don't be afraid to leave a comment and disagree with me. And also, if you want to hear about someone specifically, also feel free to suggest your players. But in today's video, we're actually gonna look at MaxPax, who is at least second best Protoss in the world, maybe even the best Protoss in the world, and we're gonna try to look at what makes him strong and what is his weak part. And honestly, I think it's a very interesting topic because MaxPax is a very unusual player. And I'm gonna start with a replay that I actually played against him. It was happening at DreamHack Summer, online stage of it, of course, because MaxPax doesn't play offline. And obviously it's gonna be like the easiest example because his PvP is very easy to understand what's different about his PvP, right? So in this case, MaxPax opens up with one gate expand like he always does, and I'm trying to blind counter it, right? Like I'm trying to put a proxy gateway down, and I'm also trying to make MaxPax think that I'm playing something else. And, I obviously want to see a target here, so I can cause as many issues as possible with my initial Stalker attack. And if we look at this on paper, this is not a good situation for MaxPax to be in, because he is going to defend a very committed Stalker pressure with Stargate, which is not really good because Voiders are quite vulnerable, they are quite expensive right now, they cost a lot, they got nerfed quite a bit of times, also the battery is nerfed, so realistically speaking, this is not the best strategy. But what it gives MaxPax, first of all, he always has a Stargate, right? So he always has a Stargate, and he obviously will always be in a decent situation if I'm playing macro, right? Because with oracles you can scout, you can kill probes, of course, and usually if you play oracle in PvP, you will be in a good situation. So against macro build orders, so any kind of fakes, he will be in a good spot, but against Alins, it won't be as easy, right? Because as I said already, it's just not very... It's not easy to defend, and in theory you shouldn't be able to defend. But what makes MaxPax special is that he's actually so experienced and he's so pixel perfect with all of his micro decisions that makes it possible but very hard to break him. So this is exactly what is happening in this game. Like, you see it looks absolutely scary, right? I'm killing a Stalker, I'm killing a cannon, no cancel, I also killed a battery. Like, it looks very dangerous for MaxPax, and I wouldn't be happy to be in this situation as Blue Protoss. But for MaxPax, it's actually a situation that he faced like probably thousands of times. So now he's slowly trying to gain as much value as possible with his Void Rays. And slowly he's getting units, he's getting cannons, and after some time it actually doesn't look as scary anymore. And this is exactly what happens. Like, maybe it wasn't the best build ever, but it actually worked. And if we make the game a little bit faster, we see that, yeah, I managed to kill his cybernetics core, I also managed to kill some of his units, but in the end, all of these small micro things that he managed to do because of his crazy experience, they actually make a difference, and I barely have not enough firepower to break through these defenses. And at this point it's just very hard for me to do anything because cannons are up, there are 3 Void Rays, which is a lot, and I can never overwhelm the shield battery overcharge, and of course he also has a lot of probes, economic advantage, and the game is very easy, right? So from this game, we can see that maybe his strategy wasn't perfect, and it definitely has hard counter, but MaxPax is so good with this strategy that he actually manages to defend against it. Of course, this is a very easy example, right? Because everyone knows about MaxPax PvP, but honestly, maybe less people understand that, but in PvT and PvZ, he actually has the same pattern. Like, maybe it's not one build, but has a little bit more variety, but it's still, he is always trying to play one thing that he's confident with and execute it as good as possible. So let's jump into the second replay. So this time we are looking at MaxPax games against Serral. It was the same tournament, but grand finals. So he opens up with nothing really new. Like, this is how every single Protoss plays, pretty much. Triple Oracle, some Adepts, Twilight Forge. I want to pay a close look at the way MaxPax is denying his scout of his opponent. And yeah, I mean, I guess it got kind of obvious that he doesn't really do that. Because as you can see, there is not a Stalker is not in position. He just lets this Overlord go through. And a little bit later, when he needs to add the gateways, as you can see, he doesn't even bother to hide his additional gateways, because there's a little bit more than you usually get. You usually get only 2 gateways, but in this case he gets 3. Maybe the 4th one gonna go quite soon. And he's not trying to hide it at all, although this is obviously a thing that can be hard countered quite easily. And to be honest, as we can see from Serral's perspective, he's actually doing it. He's playing quick +1 melee. This build is very good if your opponent is playing Blink Stalkers, because it just, you see, the path is pretty easy. You just need less units to fight back the Stalkers if you have +1 melee as Zerg. So as we all know, Zerg needs larva, and more larva you have, less links you have, you can invest more resources into drones. Or you can get more links and you can counter. So it pretty much gives you more options if you know exactly what your opponent is going for. But as you can see, MaxPax doesn't care at all. He plays Blink, he doesn't really try to hide it. I mean, of course he would probably be happy to kill this Overlord, but he's not really bothered by it, as you can see. And he's just going for something that he feels confident in. So a very standard Stalker pressure here. Oracle is on the 3rd one, is on the 4th base of MaxPax, so he can try to protect this base from Link counterattack. But as you can see, there are just too many links, and Oracle is not doing anything. And as you can see here, also nothing really goes MaxPax's way except the fact that he killed all of the script tumors, right? So as you can see, I think it's fair to say that MaxPax build order wasn't that efficient for him. Like, it didn't put him in a good position, although he had a decent early game, right? He killed 8 workers. I think it was 7, maybe like 1 additional died just now, not so sure. But in exchange, he actually got a very comfortable situation that he practices a lot. He managed to get some creep control. He killed some creep. He has a very big army of Stalkers. He didn't lose any of them. And now he just playing the game he's comfortable. He feels comfortable in. Of course, if you look at the numbers, it's not good, right? There are almost 20 additional drones for Serral, which can be good. Serral has more bases. He has superior tech, of course, because Hive is very big against Protoss, since you can get +3 melee attack, you can get adrenal glands. So it didn't really get MaxPax in the best situation ever, but it still got him somewhere, and it got him to a comfortable situation instead. So this is main point of this video, is that MaxPax in most cases he doesn't use the most efficient build orders, maybe. And in fact, I wouldn't play like this myself. Like, I wouldn't play this kind of Stalker style, and I would try to make a better job at denying scout. But it's not what MaxPax is strong at. He's strong at executing this build order in particular, because he played it hundreds, maybe thousands of times. So now he just follows a very exact pattern that he always does. As you can see, he didn't even rotate his army once. It's always in the same spot, and he just knows that this is a weak spot, and he gonna apply more and more pressure, while at the same time applying more pressure with a prism and another part of the map. So this game is going like this for more and more time, but slowly and surely MaxPax is getting more and more value out of his Stalkers. He is getting more upgrades, he is getting a base, and although his situation wasn't that great at the start, as you can see, now there are less drones for Zerg, more props for Protoss, supplies are getting a little bit closer, upgrades are getting also like better and better for Protoss. Bane run-bys are not doing too much job, and slowly MaxPax is just getting all the value he needs to get in a better and better position. And as you can see, this actually gives MaxPax a huge reward, because yes, some of his attacks are not very efficient, like the Zealots died, but actually, because of these Zealots, MaxPax saw that there is an opportunity and he can make a huge weapon, so it actually is a reward of all the action he did before. He actually found a weak spot in his opponent's defenses, and this is already a very big pain for Zerg to deal with, because Zealots are very well upgraded. Zerg is also constantly attacked by Stalkers on the right part of the map, and there is obviously no real follow-up for Zerg right now, so Lurkerden is only on the way, so it's not easy at all, and we can state that MaxPax actually got himself in a very good position, although the initial start was not that great. And after some time, MaxPax got to a powerful army, he got to the upgrades he desired to get, and now Terrell is just not ready to give a proper fight to this army, although maybe this army is not the best. Maybe this army is too Stalker heavy, and it doesn't have any Archons, it doesn't really have much splash damage, but over time too much value was gained by continuous actions that MaxPax is really confident with. And another game from the same tournament, MaxPax played against Errol. I wanna show that it's pretty much the same, like there is very little difference in this one. Only maybe the fact that MaxPax has 4 gateways instead of 5 this time, a little bit later Forge, but the idea is exactly the same. He goes for 3 Oracles, he goes for Stalkers, and when his blink is almost done, he moves out on the map and he tries to apply pressure to his opponent. Also, looking at his third base, as we can see, after he got punished with Link counter-attack in the first game we saw, he actually made an adjustment. I think this is one of the strongest parts about MaxPax in general, that he actually is very smart. I mean, maybe it might sound a little bit too naive to say about the player, because I mean every single player is smart in a way, but MaxPax is very good about this little adjustment he can make throughout the series after he watches the replay. I think this is the strongest part about MaxPax in general, and this is exactly what we see with all the build orders he uses. Like, if you want to try to get a summary on MaxPax, he is obviously very smart. He has quite a good micro, he knows and he feels how his units work, but his build orders are not that great, to be honest. Like, he's not using the most efficient build orders ever. He sometimes put himself into a disadvantage simply from the build order stage of the game, but because he's so confident with the thing he's doing, he manages to bring himself back and win these games, even against the best players in the world, as you can see, even against SKillous orcs. Talking about weak sides of MaxPax, it's probably his predictability. Like, he's very, 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 very predictable. I think if you want to prepare for him on a big tournament, when you actually have time, you can probably find some things that he's not doing correctly, or maybe he's doing it correctly, but you can abuse it in some way, because StarCraft is such a hard game, right? You can, I mean, it can be something that kills your opponent, right? But at the same time, it can be something very greedy, like economic cheese, like some people call it, right? And sometimes you can just get very far ahead from that and easily win a game against stronger opponent than you are. So I think he's a player who can get abused in a pro game, but in reality, it's very hard anyway, because I won't show you this replay, but it kind of happened to me at this exact tournament when I played against MaxPax on New Humanity. If you watch this match, throughout the series even, I got a lot of good situations for me. To be honest, I think it's fair to state that I was smarter in my preparation for the series, but it didn't help at all, because not only MaxPax is very good with his execution, but he's just very good at the game. Like, his micro is very good, as I say, his macro is very good as well. So even if you get this kind of favorable situation, for me it doesn't mean anything, and you can still lose the game very easily. I also think this is fair to say that a weak point of MaxPax is also his strong side, right? Because only because he got so much experience in the things he's doing, he can manage to turn the worst situations in his favor. So I think this is something that we can respect from him. Although playing against completely different playstyles this time, MaxPax still managed to find a way to transition out of his initial playstyle, and this is also not as easy as it might sound, because you always need to know your limits, right? You can't really just build units at any time, right? Because you will get very vulnerable, and especially players like SKillous, they're gonna punish you for doing something too greedily. And then MaxPax still won. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and see you next time. Bye bye.